was leaving, it wasn't me. They came knocking at my door, talking scandal, talking war, cameras flashing every night, but I'm still sitting in the spotlight. Dollar bills inside the couch, everybody running mouths. Mr. President, explain. I just smile and dodge the blame. They say the farm became a scene, but politics ain't squeaky clean. Some rogue cops went chasing fame, trying to cash in on my name. Oh, Julia, stop your shouting. DA, stop your pouting. You can march and you can cry, but I ain't saying goodbye. I will not go. Oh no, I will not go. Like Shaggy said, it wasn't me. They stole my money, stole my show, but I'm still where I wanna be. I will not go. Oh no, I will not go. The Concord talking endlessly. It's business as usual at the ANC, and the president is still me. Anko Bull was worth the price. 580 grand now, ain't that nice? Mr. Mustafa paid in cash. Too much money, had to stash. Safe was busted, banks were closed. What else could anybody propose? Stuff the sofa, pack it tight. Keep the furniture out of sight. Everybody loves to preach, but power's always out of reach. I'm the captain of this ship, and I ain't about to slip. Fikile, don't even bother. Save your speeches for another. The movement's here and so am I. ANC will never die. I will not go. Oh no, I will not go. You scream corruption on TV, but it's my way or the highway, bro. And this chair belongs to me. I will not go. Oh no, I will not go. You can protest endlessly. It's business as usual at the ANC, and the president is still me. You can wave your little papers, you can hold your big debates, but the man inside the union building still controls the gates. You say scandal, I say survival. You say shame, I say revival. No resignation, fantasy. From Fala Fala to Pretoria, this whole thing's history. I will not go. Oh no, I will not go. So get over it and let me be. The ANC is here to stay, and so am I, eternally. Mr. President, still seated, still smiling, it wasn't me. Yeah.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried. cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Friday, May 15th, 2026. Welcome back for your daily dose, your daily injection, your daily protection against yellow journalism, propaganda, disinformation, misinformation, hysteria, trolls, and other nasty things that affect our lives out there. Welcome back. Chris, live in the studio in central Pennsylvania. Live in the studio in central. There we go. Just checking the sound quality. How's it good? In central. There we go. Just checking this. All right. Sounds pretty good. Welcome back, folks. Donald Trump has concluded his trip to China and should be back or on his way back. I'm not sure when Air Force One was scheduled to touch down, but the trip is concluded and China's achieved what they wanted. They look like a major player on the world stage, which they are, whether we like it or not. They are a major player. So not exactly a coming out party, although they acted like it was a coming out party. Debbie Fox just gave a super chat. Thank you so much for that. And the alert box is turned off, I believe. So let me turn it back on. I wish there was a way it just automatically would come on and off for me, but it doesn't do that. So where the heck is it at? Come on. Oh, boy. Okay, I keep missing it somehow. First off, I'll close that. And it should be right around here. There it is. Got it. Thank you, Debbie, for the 350 super chat. Appreciate that. So also thanks to the people who alerted me to another video, another slanderous video that was put out there. I appreciate that. But I'm not going to get into petty squabbles with unimportant people who have no lives. But thank you for telling me that. Oh, Trump in South Africa. No, he's not there. Okay, great chat with Rob. I thought it was a fantastic conversation too. A little trouble with his Apple on that side. It was getting echo, so he had to keep putting his mic on mute. For some reason, we're getting feedback. But most of the conversation, you didn't hear that, so that's pretty good. Anyway, folks, let's get to it. We got the news on a Friday. It's a Friends and Family Only Friday, so in-person interview when I start. Oh, your interview went okay. Great, congratulations, Jared. That's good news. Jared has good news, which is excellent because a lot of folks aren't having good news on the refugee front, unfortunately. Not a lot, but some are not having good news. So I did a video last night. Looks like Trump has met a real statesman. Who? Xi Jinping, as opposed to Pizza Party. Thank you for the 20 rand super sticker. As opposed to Cyril Ramaphosa. I'll accept that argument, but I'm not really sure what you mean, a real statesman. Xi Jinping, he's just a communist thug. But yes, he's a better statesman than what you see from South Africa, that's for sure. Chris doesn't listen to Rob anymore. Okay, well, apparently a lot of people don't listen to Rob anymore or don't listen to me. We didn't have a particularly large turnout for that. I was a little disappointed. Yeah, so let me see. That video got... Oh, come on, it's not showing me. 1,500 views. So it got 531, then 878, and then now another 59 since... in the last 9 minutes. So hopefully more people watching it. But yeah, a little bit disappointing. Hey, Paul Stapleberg. But hey, it's the algorithm or it's whatever's going on. Sharon Gosselin, welcome to you. Thank you very much. Apparently someone attacked me and said that, I don't know what they were claiming. They said, that it was weird for me not to be making videos. I guess they don't pay attention. I was on the road. I still made videos, but not as many. I can't be making videos driving down the road on the Interstate 4 in Central Florida with cars left and right and everywhere. So that was a little frustrating. And also, I don't do one on Saturday night, so for some reason, people thought I was not making videos. Indeed, I was making videos. The fact that they're not paying attention is not my issue. Anyway, thank you. I'm glad most of you enjoyed the stream with Rob. I enjoyed it. It was a nice conversation. And Rob offered to pay for my flight again to come to South Africa. That was nice. I wasn't expecting that. So it was actually a profitable conversation for me, not just a conversation about things. Let's get to the news. We'll start with South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Fidel Adams has been released on bail, 10,000 rand. Almost no bail whatsoever, considering the seriousness of the charge. He's back in court on August 14th. That's a pained expression. I wonder if he sat on a nail when he sat down on the bench there in the court. Leader of the National Colored Congress, Fidel Adams, put his hands together in a prayer of gratitude when Pinetown Magistrates Court, Wendell Robinson, I should say judge, released him on 10,000 bail today. He was arrested by the Political Killings Task Team on May 5th. So he's been in jail for 10 days. Wow. Robinson warned Adams to obey the conditions of bail and also warned him to respect the rule of law. Among his bail conditions that he needs to report to Mitchell's Plains Police Station twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays until the finalization of his matter. Wow. The state has painted him as a constitutional delinquent. It gave the law the middle finger. Well, there may be some fairness in that statement, but wow, my goodness. Interesting. So Leon Schreiber, I missed this story. Let me pull it up here very quickly here. Leon Schreiber is highlighting success of home affairs. For those of you waiting for unabridged birth certificates or passports, you may disagree with Leon Schreiber's description of what success is. But let's take a look at this. Despite criticism over quantity of illegal immigrants, Home Affairs Minister says corruption is being stamped out. Department of Home Affairs reform agenda is enhancing national security, improving efficiency of service delivery, according to Leon Schreiber. But many of you would dispute that. 110,000 deportations, 46% increase over previous years. But why can South Africa deport illegal aliens, but America can't? We're racist when we do it, but you're not. Yeah, Western Cape has lost a lot of people. That's true. The African National Congress, surprise, surprise, has ruled out recalling Cyril Ramaphosa from the presidency or resignation after their little gangsters meeting, the NEC. The ANC has ruled out any discussion of the recall of the resignation of President Ramaphosa, saying his mandate remains intact and leadership unchanged. Mandate? Mandate from whom? For what? He has no mandate. What mandate does Ramaphosa have? From the Thule House, perhaps, but not from the people of South Africa. Resignation was not on the table. None of these matters were on the table, says Fikile. They did not consider the recall of the president, and resignation was not on the table. Well, good luck with that, ANC. You'll go down with the ship. Stupid people should wear signs. Papa Penny has resigned from the MK party with his ridiculous hairstyle. Kobani joined the MK party in 2024, was sworn as an MP that same year. Well, he's spent his time in Parliament. Now he'll have to get out. MK Party MP Khizani Kobani, properly known as Papa Penny, has announced his resignation from both the party and his seat in the National Assembly. He joined the party in 2024, was sworn as an MP last year. In a letter dated today and addressed to party leader Jacob Zuma, he said, internal party conflicts in Limpopo led to his decision to step down. It's with a heavy heart that I submit a resignation letter to you, my president. When I took the decision to join the party, I did so knowing that the struggle to attain the emancipation of our people would come at a great cost. Emancipation? What frickin' planet is this guy on? Emancipation. Who needs emancipation? Nobody's in slavery. Stop throwing words around that you don't understand. Emancipation. There's no emancipation. There's no one living in slavery in South Africa, legally anyway. Wow. What I did anticipate was that such costs would come from attacks, vilification, and belittling of my person, efforts by those in the provincial leadership of the party in Limpopo. Well, of course, MK Party is a disaster, an absolute disaster. And that's why the one area I disagreed a little bit with Rob Hersoff was on how well MK will do in KZN. I said he's got a point. It's valid. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Judge Belinda Hartle has been suspended for using the K word. Kraft macaroni and cheese. Oh my goodness, Kraft macaroni and cheese. Judicial Service Commission has suspended Eastern Cape High Court Judge Belinda Hartle pending the outcome of investigation into allegations of incapacity, gross incompetence, and gross misconduct. The decision follows a complaint lodged by Tozamile Semakazi, an employee of the Office of Chief Justice, who alleged the judge used racist and abusive language during an incident in East London Court in May of 2025. According to Semakazi, the judge, upon being informed of his purpose, allegedly uttered the following expletives: F you, P word man, repeatedly. I'm tired of Mafala's staff, bloody effing Kraft macaroni and cheese. Wow. 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 A racist judge has no place in judiciary reference to case law that deprecated the use of the word K, even under the apartheid regime. Quoting case law, he stated, when a black man is called a K word by someone of another race, as a rule, the term is disparaging, derogatory, and causes humiliation. And what happens when a noted record producer calls white people genetically inferior, and that he's going to kill them and chase them into the sea, and that white women can't bear children because they're genetically inferior, and that they're no better than dogs? That's not racism? Apparently not. Not according to the captured South African Human Rights Commission, who forced Nota Baloyi to give a tepid, pathetic, fake apology in which he laughed during the entire thing. Yeah. So, did this even happen is the question I have. Did it even happen? Seems highly unlikely that this even happened. Michael Beaumont from Action SA, Bumhurt DA, former member, says South Africa can survive without Ramaphosa. Well, yes, can survive without the ANC, without Action SA too. Yep. Kevin Costner's character in Oliver Stone's epic film JFK, which was a lame film, famously responded to the intense criticism he faced for bringing the only prosecution in the case of the assassination of JFK. The criticism he faced was not because of credibility of his case, but because he brought the case at a time when the entire nation preferred the bliss of ignorance over discomfort of justice. He responded using the famous words, "Let justice be done through the heavens fall." Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, Cyril won't face justice. Get over that. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Fuel prices in South Africa are set to skyrocket again in June. Get ready. Sean Rawl tells a story saying that prices will go up by 2 Rand 20 cents for fuel and 3 Rand for diesel. Petrol going up 2 Rand 20. Oof. In the last 50 years, the petrol price has gone up exponentially. In January 1976, petrol cost just 21.1 cents a liter. In May of 2026, that had climbed to 26.52 a liter. That's 12,470% increase. Wow. Wow. South Africa's heavy dependence on imported crude oil leaves us vulnerable to immediate price fuel hikes driven by global crude volatility. The impact on business is devastating as fuel is used in all sectors, not only in transport. Yep. So, headed towards 30 Rand a liter, man. Wow. That's insane. Yeah, donkeys are cheap, but you have to feed them. Shifting our attention to the DRC, Eastern DRC, there is an Ebola outbreak. Stay away. A deadly outbreak of Ebola virus has been declared in the Ituri province, Eastern DRC, region hit by armed conflict. 4 deaths linked to the virus have been confirmed through laboratory testing, while 246 suspected cases, including 65 deaths, have been recorded. Ebola virus outbreak confirmed in Ituri province, said the African Center for Disease Control. Of course, Ebola was first identified in 1976 and is believed to have originated in bats, but we have yet to confirm that. Ebola is a deadly viral disease. It's hemorrhagic fever. It's a filovirus. And it's bad mojo. Used to have a 90% mortality rate, but more recent versions, adaptations of the virus have lowered that to 40 and 30% in some regions of Africa, but it is still quite high in the DRC region. Needless to say, stay out of the DRC. The African Union and the United Nations warn foreign interference is fueling Africa's conflicts. Yeah, sure. Like we need to get involved in Somalia's clan nonsense. African Union Chairman Mahmoud Ali Youssef and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres have warned that external interference is fueling Africa's security crisis. That's poppycock. Africans are fueling Africa's security crisis. Foreign interlopers are just taking advantage of it. Foreign interference had extended to disrupting mediation and peace process, creating major challenges for the AU and the UN in addressing conflicts across the continent, including the Sahel region, the Horn of Africa, and Eastern DRC. Really. The African Union has done virtually nothing to achieve peace in Somalia, in the Central African Republic, in Niger, in Mali, Burkina Faso, in Chad, in Sudan, in South Sudan. They've done virtually nothing. Their peace mechanism is useless, utterly useless. To claim that others are meddling in that is utter poppycock. This is the rantings of delusional African potentates who think that they matter. You don't matter. I'm sorry. If it hurts your feelings, get over yourself. If it mattered, you've had your opportunity. I worked at the African Union. I know the mechanisms put in place, and you don't follow them. You don't use them because you have no sovereignty over the actors that are involved. So stop pretending that others are responsible for the crap storm that you've created. Western powers didn't create the civil war in Liberia. Liberians did that. Western powers did not create the civil war or the conflict that took place in Ghana. The coups. No, didn't happen. That is Africans, black Africans responsible for black African suffering. That is who is responsible. It's not the Western powers who precipitated the conflict in Ethiopia. The Ethiopians did that. It's not the Western powers who sent the Ethiopian army marching into Tigray, executing conscripts with bullets to the back of the head and dumping their bodies over a cliff. We have the video evidence. That was the Ethiopian Defense Forces. Nobody from external had anything to do with that. Foreign powers are not responsible for the conflicts in Africa. This is crybaby lying about colonialism, which ended decades ago. Africans need to start being adults and taking responsibility for their own actions. It is Africans who are responsible for the conflict in the Sahel, not the West. And there's nothing to do with colonialism that caused this. It is not Westerners who overthrew the governments of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. It is the corrupt militaries of those countries who did that. It is not Western powers who created Boko Haram and who are fighting Boko Haram. It is Nigerians who do that. or Al-Shabaab. Any of these clowns. Total nonsense. Sick of this whining. Let's talk about debt, which they all want a free ride on. 10 African countries with the highest debt to the IMF in May 2026. This is just to the International Monetary Fund. You ready? IMF loans are frequently used to assist nations managing economic crises. Prolonged debt burdens can undermine development projects, restrict fiscal flexibility, and raise vulnerability to external shocks such as rising fuel prices, global inflation, or diminishing commodity earnings. Recent events in Mozambique and Angola have highlighted some of these risks. Mozambique has recently received increasing scrutiny over its debt sustainability, with concerns that the country's financial situation is deteriorating even more. Well, I really don't have any empathy. Mozambique spent $2 billion on a scam. The politicians stole $2 billion on tuna boat scan. And that's not our fault. They did that. No interference. We gave them the money. It was supposed to build a fishing fleet. It didn't. Money went in the pockets of corrupt officials. So here you go. The 10 largest international monetary. This is even the World Bank or any other, or the African Development Bank. This is just, commercial banks or domestic debt. This is just the IMF. Egypt owes the IMF $7.2 billion. Cote d'Ivoire, 3.6, Kenya, 2.8, Ghana, 2.7, Angola, 2.4, the DRC, 2.2, Ethiopia, 1.7, Tanzania, 1.4, Zambia, 1.2, and Cameroon, $1.1 billion. Yeah. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. And zero empathy on my part for this nonsense. A tanker has been seized off of a UAE dock, and a cargo ship was sunk off the coast of Oman. The tanker docked off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, was seized by unauthorized personnel and spotted heading towards Iranian waters. So the Iranians are now stealing ships. They're now stealing ships, while another vessel was attacked and sunk near Oman, further inflaming tensions. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations noted Thursday that the first ship, which has not been identified, was seized just 38 nautical miles north of the city of Fallujah in the UAE. The organization did not identify any suspects, but confirmed it was investigating the incident. Meanwhile, Indian authorities confirmed that one of their cargo ships sank off the coast of Oman after an attack sparked a fire aboard the vessel. The attack on Indian flag ship off the coast of Oman yesterday is unacceptable, and we deplore the fact that commercial shipping civilian mariners are continuing to be targeted, said India's Ministry of External Affairs. Well, perhaps India ought to get involved in the fight to stop the Iranians. Start sending your Navy there to help subdue the Iranians instead of inviting them to naval exercises, during which one of the ships was sunk afterwards by the U.S. Navy. In pageantry of politics, China's summit yields Xi Jinping's main goal, equal footing with the U.S., which he already had. It's comical. The image of peer superpowers during President Trump's visit displayed a dynamic that analysts say the Chinese have long sought and Americans have resisted. Well, we can resist it, but we can't fight the inevitable. Bill Clinton and the idiots in Congress are responsible for China's rise. And our titans of industry have betrayed us and sold us down the river by shipping all of our manufacturing to this communist criminal regime of fascist dictators. So they've all screwed us. It's the great two countries. I call it the G2. This is G2. Wow. That's what Trump said during an interview with Sean Hannity. I think it'll go down as a very important moment in history. Well, perhaps. Perhaps. Though Trump was the one who said that the image of two superpowers and similar footing was exactly what she aimed to achieve with the visit. Yep, he's done something Chinese leaders have been working toward for decades, bringing American President Beijing as an undisputed peer. Xi used the opulent optics of the visit to make clear to the world that China and the United States are the two dominant, equally matched superpowers. There's no going back. Well, there is going back because China's collapsing. So good luck with that. Enjoy your moment in the sunshine. But the reality here is that, Xi Jinping can host Donald Trump in a massive, opulent ballroom, which is something Trump can't do. And unpatriotic, hateful, hate-wanking leftists are trying to stop Donald Trump from being able to achieve what the White House has never had the ability to do, host a state event. And they're trying to stop it because they're just Trump haters and anti-patriotic scumbags. President Trump is weighing the Taiwan arms package. Well, he better go through with it. U.S. President Donald Trump said Friday he has not made a decision on whether to move forward with a major arms package for Taiwan after hearing concerns about it from Chinese President Xi Jinping. Well, you better not back out of this, Trump. I will make the determination. I'll be making decisions. But, the last thing we need right now is war that's 9,500 miles away. Well, giving Taiwan the weapons will prevent the war, Mr. Trump. Giving Taiwan the weapons will prevent the war. Leaving them defenseless or weakened will precipitate Chinese invasion of Taiwan. So whoever's advising the president needs to get their head out of their ass and make sure that he makes the right decision here. Yeah, a $14 billion arms deal was approved in January, but Trump has to let it go forward. Well, Norway has defended its decision to not ship the missile system to Malaysia, which we talked about yesterday. Norway's foreign ministry affirmed Friday its revoked export licenses tied to a naval missile system from Malaysia, saying sales of its most sensitive defense technologies are now restricted to allies and closest partners. The move blocked delivery of the naval strike missile system and launcher components intended for Malaysia's littoral combat ship program, prompting sharp protests from Kuala Lumpur. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim warned that it would damage confidence in European defense suppliers. But here's the problem. Norway, a bunch of cheating bastards. This contract was signed in 2018, and most of the equipment has been delivered. And now, a decade later, the Norwegian government decides they won't send it to a friendly country. Norway needs to be called out on this. Their woke-tard nonsense needs to stop. You signed a contract, you have an obligation. There's no justification for not shipping these missiles to Malaysia. They've done nothing wrong. This is shameful conduct by Norwegians. The United States sank millions, well, billions, into a failed mission to stem the crisis in Haiti. But now we're going to try again. Another dumb idea. A larger multinational security force will have broader authority to combat rising gang violence than its predecessor, but could face similar funding challenges. When the U.S.-backed security force came to Haiti in 2024, Monique Pellis-Paul was hopeful. Kenshoff, the farming town outside of Port-au-Prince, where she lived with her 5 children, had been spared the heavily armed criminal gangs that occupied most capital. Now the 50-year-old vegetable seller believed the UN-approved Kenyan-led police force would help push back the gangs. Well, good luck with that. But in the town which straddled the last open road out of Port-au-Prince made an inviting target. In January 25, armed groups attacked. Over the next 2 months, Mayor Massalangeon said they killed more than 260 people, sent tens of thousands fleeing, and took control of 70% of the town. During the assault, bandits set fire to her 6-room home, destroyed her crops, and stole her 3 oxen. I spent over 12 years building that house. I have nothing left. I'm devastated. Well, that is Haiti, another place run by black Africans that can't manage itself. And on the other side of the island of Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic. Rule of order, rule of law. Not settled by black Africans, but majority by indigenous population and Spanish. CIA Director John Ratcliffe met with Raul Castro's grandson in Havana. What is going on? Director of the Central Intelligence Agency met with Cuban officials, including Raul Castro's grandson, during a high-level visit to the island yesterday. Ratcliffe met with Raul Guillermo Rodriguez Castro, Interior Minister Lazaro Alvarez Casas, and the head of Cuban Intelligence Service, and discussed intelligence cooperation, economic stability, and security issues. He was there to personally deliver President Trump's message that the United States is prepared to seriously engage on economic and security issues, but only if Cuba makes fundamental changes. Wow, that is significant. The U.S. has stressed that Cuba cannot continue to be a safe haven for adversaries in the Western Hemisphere. Fascinating. The United States is making genuine substantive efforts to engage with Cuba, which has never been done since the 1960s. However, the U.S. does plan to indict Raul Castro, this ancient fossil. One Freta, thank you for the £1. Appreciate that. United States plans to indict Cuba's Raul Castro. The timing of the potential indictment, which would need to be approved by a grand jury, was not immediately clear, but the officials said it sounds imminent. The potential indictment of the 94-year-old former president of Cuba and brother of Fidel is expected to focus on the downing of aircraft. CBS previously reported the case relates to Cuba's deadly 1996 shoot-down of planes operated by humanitarian group Brothers to the Rescue. Wow. So they're going to indict Raul Castro. That's fascinating. 94-year-old nonagenarian. President Trump has declared that his diplomatic win, his trip to China, better relationship with Xi, but few concrete deals. Yep, no real story about what we're getting. What are we getting from this? No real talk about it. President Trump wrapped up his historic visit to Beijing on Friday, saying he's made important progress to stabilize U.S.-China relations, which only a few years ago were at the lowest level in decades. We've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle, and the relationship is a very strong one. Well, what have they settled? I'm waiting to find out. Inquiring minds want to know. Trump needs to tell us. Oil prices jumped after Trump said he is losing patience with Iran. He told Fox News that they should make a deal. He also said President Xi agreed not to send military equipment to Iran. Well, that's one thing that's concrete. Let's see if they actually abide by it. Oil prices rose up to $108.25 a barrel, which represents a 20% increase over what it was before the conflict. Yet people are losing their minds over the price of fuel. A Republican senator who defied Trump on impeachment, and voters haven't forgotten. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana faces two challenges, one endorsed by the president in Saturday's 5 years after he voted to convict Trump. This moron will soon be out of office, thank goodness. Senator Bill Cassidy had just easily won re-election when he broke with his party and voted to convict President Trump in his 2021 impeachment for his role in inciting the January 26th attack on the Capitol. Except Washington Post, Donald Trump did not incite any attack on the Capitol. There was no attack on the Capitol. There were criminals who broke into the building and idiots who walked into the building and were welcomed in by law enforcement. There was no attack on the Capitol, and Donald Trump didn't incite anything. You are a lying sack of horse shit, the Washington Compost. And this scumbag should be voted out of office. Cassidy's 6-year term is up, and the vote could cost him a seat. Good. I hope he goes into retirement. Trump has urged voters to oust Cassidy in Saturday's Republican primary and endorse Representative Julia Littell, who's running against him. But the president hasn't cleared the field. He's locked in a competitive three-way race with Littell and John Fleming, a Louisiana state treasurer and a former congressman. The top two candidates will advance to the runoff next month if no one wins a majority vote. Everyone's claiming to be ahead in the polls, but nobody knows. Cassidy was one of 7 dumbass, turncoat, treasonous Republican senators who voted Democrats to convict Trump in the 2021 bogus impeachment trial. 57 senators voted guilty, short of 2/3 needed to convict him. Just 3 of the Republicans who voted to convict remain in the Senate. Lisa Murkowski, who should be voted out, Susan Collins, who should be voted out, and Cassidy. Cassidy is on his way out. Yep, this scumbag needs to go. He needs to go. The Supreme Court has voted to allow telehealth and mail access to that murder pill, mifepristone. Supreme Court yesterday allowed women to continue access to the murder pill, mifepristone, through telehealth visits, maintaining the status quo, while officials in Louisiana continue to push for limiting availability of the drug in lower courts. The conservative Supreme Court imposed a pause on May 1st from the Fifth Circuit Court, but now they're letting them actually have the murder pill. The court's order landed nearly half an hour after the early administrative stay, extending widespread access. The court's unreasoned order granting stays in this case is remarkable, Justice Alito wrote. What is at stake, he added, is the perpetration of a scheme to undermine our decision overturning Roe v. Wade 4 years ago. Justice Clarence Thomas wrote in a brief solo dissent that he thought the long-dormant 19th century law that bans the mailing of drugs used for abortions, as well as the state's strict abortion ban, barred manufacturers from getting courts to intervene on their behalf. And I agree with the conservatives on this. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill, a Republican, called the court's decision shocking and vowed to keep fighting. Mail-order abortion directly undermines the decision in Dobbs, Gavin Oxley, a spokesman for Americans United for Life, said, referring to the Supreme Court's decision overturning the federal right to an abortion. He said that would only further prolong the full effects of overturning Roe v. Wade by completely returning the issue to the American people. Incompletely. Yeah, this is not good. Women have been able to take the murder pill, one of 2 drugs in the medication abortion regime, through telehealth appointments since the pandemic. Joe Biden's Food and Drug Administration finalized the situation in 2023, ending the requirement for the medication to be obtained through an in-person doctor's visit. Yeah, well, this undermines state law, and it is unconstitutional, and the court once again has erred. Starbucks will lay off 300 U.S. employees and shutter some of the regional support offices. Wow. It's the 3rd round of job cuts under CEO Brian Niccol. Coffee chains say the moves are part of its turnaround strategy and will help return the company to profitable growth. Well, lower your freaking Starbucks Frappuccino prices back to $4 instead of charging you $7. That would be a good start. The combined severance costs and a reassessment of the office space will result in restructuring charges of $400 million. 300 employees are going to cost you $400 million. They must be very good employees. Wow. We're taking further action under the back of the to Starbucks strategy, building our strong business momentum, working to return the company to durable, profitable growth. Friday's announcement marks Starbucks' 3rd round of layoffs since Brian Niccol took the helm. In February 2025, Nichols said the company would cut 1,100 jobs and not fill several hundred other open positions. 7 months later, the company announced another 900 job losses for non-retail workers as part of a $1 billion restructuring plan. Starbucks had 9,000 U.S. non-retail workers and 5,000 international employees working regional support operations as of September last year. For its latest quarter, the company reported U.S. same-store sales grew 7%, fueled by a 4.3% increase in transactions. Yes, but you keep charging $8 for a cup of coffee, and we're all going to quit coming. Golden Dome Point Man dismisses the Congressional Budget Office's $1.2 trillion missile shield price tag. Space Force General Michael Gutlein said the eye-popping $1.2 trillion cost estimate for the proposed Golden Dome missile is deeply flawed because it focuses on past missile defense capabilities and does not account for massive leaps forward in technology that will drive the price down. General Gutlein has previously said the Golden Dome, which aims to protect the continental United States from ballistic missile and hypersonic missile attacks from adversaries such as China and Russia, would cost about $185 billion over 3 years. Trump wants it working by 2028. Wow. That's crazy. Much less than what the Congressional Budget Office has done to try to sway people from supporting it. Green card holders are targeted for deportation by new removal apparatus. The Department of Homeland Security recently formed a unit tasked with revetting thousands of immigrants with permanent residency. The Homeland Security is seeking to deport at least 50 green card holders through a new unit dedicated to revetting thousands of immigrants with permanent residency across the country, according to internal data obtained by the New York Slimes. These cases represent a small fraction of the total number of green card holders who have been reviewed so far. About 2,890 cases have been reviewed or were still being assessed. More than 500 green card holders were still under review. The figures reveal the early results of Trump administration's efforts to screen green card holders suspected of committing fraud or posing threats. Well, good for them. I'm glad they're doing it. USCIS's first and foremost mission is to safeguard America by rigorously vetting and screening aliens. We will continue to implement changes as we identify opportunities to strengthen the U.S. immigration system, which is exactly what I've told refugees. USCIS's first mission is to protect America, not let them in the country. Yep. Trump administration's revetting efforts are significantly broader and more aggressive than previous efforts to review immigrants lawfully in the country. A green card holder's criminal record would typically be reviewed by Citizenship and Immigration Services when that individual applied for renewal, naturalization, or another benefit. But now we're looking to find criminals as we go along. The Trump administration is aiming to roll back limits on toxic wastewater from coal-fired power plants. The EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin there speaking. Harrisburg, right down the street from me, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency moved Thursday to roll back limits that require coal-fired power plants to prevent the release of toxic heavy metals into streams and rivers through polluted groundwater, saying a 3-year-old rule is unduly costly for the energy industry at a time when energy demand is spiking. In a proposed rule, the EPA said the 2024 rule under President Biden misjudged the effectiveness and cost of the regulation and had the effect of shutting down coal-fired plants at a time when energy demand was spiking. Changing the rule is critical to making electricity more affordable and reliable. Exactly. If the rule is finalized, it will reduce power generation costs by as much as $1.1 billion per year. That would be nice. That would be very, very nice. And I'd appreciate that because I pay way too much for electricity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the news on this Friday, the 15th of May, 2026, I should say. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done already. We haven't quite hit 1,000 viewers yet. Oh, definitely taking a big dive off a cliff with viewership. Either the content sucks or the algorithm is not being nice, whatever the case is. Rand price gives you heartburn. Why does a Rand price give you heartburn, Fonz? You're in Colorado. You're welcome, EB. You're very welcome, Trevor. And Twinkle Toes. All right, what else we got here? Men can't get pregnant. That is correct. Yeah, I don't know what that pill causes, but no doubt it would cause bleeding. If you abort a fetus, then no doubt it's going to cause some kind of problem. Starbucks become too expensive. The culture of the country is not. Yeah, exactly. You're right. The culture is not what it once was. Big fish, and it's become too expensive. 100% correct. By the way, what is Starbucks stock currently trading for? I have no idea. I have shares in Starbucks, by the way, in one of my retirement accounts. Starbucks stock price. Let's see what it is. $106. It was 100. Let's see. Let's go back 1 year. Let's see what its peak was. Actually, it's at the highest level it's been in ages. It's $106. Wow. Starbucks, $106. Man, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Microsoft trading at $424 a share. Yelp at 21. Apple 301. TripAdvisor just 962. Yeah. Wonder when SpaceX comes out what that's going to be trading at. That's going to be high. Everyone deserves a treat now and then. What's that about? Murder pill, Sharon. Yep. Got yourself an adding of ice beer for your birthday. Is it your birthday, Chris? Is your birthday today? Well, I'm going to put the cake up and assume it is, and I've got it correct. Just got to find the cake. Where's it hiding at? Come on, where are you hiding at? Oh, come on. Okay, how does this happen? I have such a hard time finding this full. There it is. Okay, so Chris Ehlers, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Super chat being suppressed. Tried 199 pounds. No, I don't know if you're allowed to do 199. Yeah, you can do. I've got a $500 super chat. You tried to send me 199 pounds? Well, that sounds like a... Well, how can... Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You try to send 199 pounds and it'll let you do $1. That doesn't make any sense. It'll do the currency in the country in. So which is it? Yeah. No, I know. Super chat's being suppressed. They've really driven down revenue for the channel. But again, I didn't do this channel to make money. But I could sure use it. Yeah, so let's take a look and see. This month is another drop off in revenue. So, but then it's because I had so few streams when I was traveling. Revenue for the month. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. No, we are halfway through the month, and I'm at only 40% of what was that last month, and that month was only, in the end, 65% of what it was the previous month, which was down from, I mean, right now I'm 80% less revenue than I got in December. And the biggest month since then was March, and I'm at 60% less than March. Yep, so it's a good thing I'm not doing this for money. I'd really be bummed out. Really would be bummed out. Thank you for the £1. Oh, I think you meant £1. Okay, well, thank you for the £1. You were trying to give me 199. Try a lower amount. But thank you. It might be your card. It might not be YouTube. It could be your card in your bank. You know, it depends. Some cards, some banks have limits. It's like when I try to use my credit card to pay for my my Oyster card in the UK. It doesn't work. Most of my credit cards won't work. They won't work because of fraud. Oyster card, I can't fill it up in machines half the time. So I have to find a machine like in Canary Wharf when I'm in London that I can go to and use a card and put money on it and put plenty of money on it. Yeah, so I've got money on my Oyster card, which I haven't used in years because I haven't been in London in a while, just sitting there becoming worth less every day because of inflation and prices going up, which is inflation anyway. Financial system is built on fiat money, which does not come in existence via gold reserves. It's created when central banks, commercial banks monetize debt. Permanent state of debt is baked in. No, permanent state of debt is not baked in, but yeah, it is fiat money. Africa cannot be blamed. Africa has no common sense. Okay, Martin. Why don't see black and black violence? I don't know. They all completely ignore 850,000 people butchered with pungas in Rwanda in 1994. They just can't see that. Yeah, it's comical. It's because they're racist. Refugees' comments will be deleted during the news. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, black folks use the K word all the time. Yep. And, yep, they get away with it. They gave you someone else's marriage certificate. That's just pathetic. Before COVID. Wow, Debbie, that's crazy. Well, then what you need to do, if I don't know if you're coming here, I don't think you're coming. If you're coming, you need to tell them, look, good faith effort. This is what I'm doing. These people are useless. Future Looks Bright says Rob tends to have polarizing views, especially when it comes to support for Gayton and some of his predictions past 12 months, which have been really hit and miss. Okay. My predictions are mostly on the money, though. And Sharon Gosselin, thank you for the 21 Rand. Pizza party for 20 Rand. Yep, okay. Still in the Eastern Cape, says Sharon. Okay, cool. I've caught up Mad Max. Where is he? Yeah, Mad Max is working. Yeah, Mad Max is not here. Eric is not here. Hendo has been scarce. We don't see Hendo much anymore. All my moderators are banning me. I guess they bought on all the lies about me. People have lives, folks. They have other things to do. Rock Matrix said that is true. What's true? What did I say? Okay. Leslie saying it's really cool how you take care of all this. Yeah, I mean, people don't know. I mean, so yesterday I made sure that people got fed in South Africa. So let me see. I'm going to check on that now. Yep, that's being taken care of. So they'll be getting food shortly. And also 3 people who are having trouble getting a Social Security number. I direct them the right place to get their Social Security number. Yep. Pumas 20, Chelsea. Chelsea? Is that Chelsea? Chelsea has a rugby team? Hey, Vodkamada, what's going on? Yeah, Charles finally has a passport. That's amazing. Yeah, Mad Max, my now is a bit late. He's got to get some sleep because he's got work, and then during the day he's working, so it's hard to see Mad Max. Yep. Mike, enjoy the interview with Rob Herself. Glad you did. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Fonz just gave $2 converted to ZAR. Okay, that's 34 Rand. That'll buy me half a bag of crisps. Or 1 bag of crisps. 1 small bag. Okay. You know, I looked in my fridge and I forgot I've actually got myself a Weizen. These stupid little tiny bottles I put them in now. Chris was celebrating a Weizen for his birthday. These stupid little bottles keep getting smaller and smaller. 11 ounces, supposed to be 16 ounces. Now we're down to 11 ounces. These bastards have stole 5 ounces from us. We pay twice the price for 50 or 40% less beer in these candy-ass little bottles. That's not a proper beer bottle. When I pour that in a German drinking glass, it doesn't even come close to the half-liter mark. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I do have 1 bottle of Polana left. I was going to get some Polana, but the Class 6, which is the part of the exchange that sells alcohol, had no Polana, no German beer. All this just American piss water is all they had. So very disappointing. So I picked these up the other day to go along with the other ones I have. The 250th anniversary of America, Stars and Stripes and Strength. Freedom never fades. That's and then on the back side it says 4th of July 250. And this is kind of cool. I haven't taken out, it's not a Matchbox, but it looks like a Matchbox. Die-cast junior car. So it's a 2015 Mustang. America 250. So I'll probably leave that in its packaging. Have any intel to share if the cap has been filled? Well, as far as I know, we've gone to the cap and perhaps we're exceeding it now. But I'm getting messages from people telling me they're still flying on the 19th and afterwards. People saying, hey, I fly. Thank you for all your help. And they give me the dates they're flying, which would lean to me that either only a handful of people are leaving every day or we went past the cap already. So, no, I don't have any official word. Don't have any official word on whether we broke the cap or not. But yeah, so we'll find out. We'll find out soon. Yep. Send a note to somebody in the U.S. government about that. Joking, Southern beer isn't as fizzy beer. Proper beer is ale. Yeah, South African beer is horrible, man. My mom has colon cancer. Oh. Okay, Angelique, sorry to hear that. Hope she's improving. Alan got a 250-year cap. Cool. Is Taiwan 2027 still on? What do you mean? What is Taiwan 2027? Johan Kruger, spending some time in South Africa for a back operation. Cannot wait to go back to Mauritius. Okay, Johan. Ian tells me, serves me right. That's not beer. No, dude. I'm sorry. You cannot argue that carbonated piss water is beer. Beer is brewed by the Reinheitsgebot. Pure, simple. Water, hops, and a few other ingredients. And that's it. No carbonation, no forced consumption of crap. 45 Rand for the Erdinger. Yeah, that makes sense, Chris. That's imported. So Erdinger is not my favorite, but I can drink it. I've been to Erding in Bayern, but it's not my favorite, but I can drink it. But I prefer Polana. Yeah. Oh, Whitebeard just gave some money there. Whitebeard just gave 3,500 super chat. Oh my goodness. Oof. Wow. What the heck? Where did that come from? My goodness, man. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Wow. That's very kind of you. Wow, that came out of nowhere. Stella Artois, not a fan. No, I have no contact with Elon Musk. Holy moly, says Trevor. Trevor, that's very generous, and I really appreciate that super chat from Whitebeard. But, Trevor, I have had on this channel $500 super chats in the past. Yep. Back in the day, some South Africans who were working in the Middle East and watched the channel hit some big super chats. Yep. That doesn't happen much anymore. Thank you so much for that, Whitebeard. I like the username. Yeah, and I just paid my American Express bill just before this, and so that will cover half of that American Express bill. Well, not after taxes, but yeah, my American Express bill paying for hotel rooms last month on these trips was several $100s, and the new one is already coming with new rooms. You go buy the German bog water. It's not. Oh my gosh, Ian, dude, you were such a. That's not. Oh yeah, no, Trevor. I've actually had a super chat for. I had $1,000 super chat one time. Yeah. It's just Sharon will send me or you sent me. No, I'm not super chatting myself. That would be silly. If I super chat myself, then I lose 30% of my money to YouTube right away, and then I have to pay taxes on my own money. And no, I don't super chat myself. That's just that. Hey, Light Rain, what's going on, man? Yeah, one white beard to another, and Spartan God says, I'm Whitebeard. What are you looking for a super chat, man? 2CTV confirmed 2 days ago the company south had exposed farmers, exposed the fake media denying it. Well, great for them. Great for them. Must be nice not to be shadow banned on YouTube. Must be nice for 2CTV. Maybe I should pretend to be an Iranian. Yeah, I've been exposing it for years. And we're stuck at 126,000 subscribers, which I really appreciate and cherish. But, it's frustrating. So my colleague and friend there, Doug Mastriano, has been nominated to be an ambassador. So I'm also not going down that path. So congratulations to Doug, a state senator here in Pennsylvania. Trevor says, I'll top it all once I get rich in the USA. Well, will I be around long enough for that? Leslie says she'll grow a white beard for 350 Rand. Or is Leslie, no, it's Leslie Antz, it's definitely a lady. What's the ballpark figure in total tax we would have to pay when living in a non-income tax zone? Florida is not non-income tax. Well, you have to pay federal tax. It depends on how much income you have. So if you make over $50,000, if you make $50,000 or less, you're probably paying $0 in federal income tax. Most people making $50,000 or less pay virtually nothing in income tax. It's only people above that actually paying something. Don't have 3,000, but I can't afford it. Well, thank you, Willem Retief. Thank you so much for that. Retract my $2 unfair. Too late, Fonz. Too late. $2 is there, man. VR Junkie Man says, thanks for explaining. Yeah. No. So look, let's just see. So let me see what. Okay. So let me do this here. Okay. The problem is that your tax is based on lots of things. Are you married? Are you single? Are you married filing separately? You get penalized. You're married filing jointly. Let's just take a married couple. Okay. M-A-R-I filing standard deduction. Very good. So the standard deduction for married couple is $32,000. So if you make $50,000, okay, all right. So let's look this up. So I'm going to do this for you, okay? Married with 2 kids, you make $50,000, okay? That's not a great sum of money, but it's something to work with here. So let me just do this very quickly. So come on, where's Windows? Come on down here. So I'm just going to help you out with this. So because this keeps going up, it goes up every year based on inflation. So $50,000, okay? Married. So this is married with 2 children, okay? Okay, so $50,000, you're going to take away $32,200 is not taxable. Okay, so that leaves you with what, 20-some thousand. So 50,000 minus 32,200 means $17,800 is what you can be taxed on. But we're not done. We're not done, folks. $17,800. Okay. Now, from $17,800, you get personal exemptions. Okay. Exemptions. So hang on a second here. Personal exemption for 2025. Oh. Okay, so that's gone now. My bad. Okay, so the exemptions are gone now. We don't have them anymore. The Trump took them away. Okay, so your income now, that's before you have anything you can deduct. Also, from that $17,000. So $17,800 is all you'll pay tax on. So let me look tax table 2025. Okay, so married filing jointly. Here we go. Okay, so if you are in that bracket, you made $50,000, you take that out, you become the taxable bracket of $0 to $23,800, you pay 10% of that income. So your tax bill will $1,780. $1,780 out of $50,000. That means effectively, divided by 50,000, you're paying 3.4% tax. You're paying virtually nothing, 3.4%. Now, if you make up to $96,000, you pay 12%. From $96,000 to $206,000, you're paying 22% of your income, and it keeps going up. Up to 37%. Yep. So it keeps going up. So yeah, there. So there you go. That's that. Now, don't forget that you also pay Social Security. So you're paying about 6.5 plus 4%. You're paying about 9%. So 9% of your pay is gone before you ever get that's also taken out for Social Security. You have no control over it. Social Security, Medicare, it's gone. So effectively, it's not really the 10%. It's more like 20%. So, yep. Yeah, you have to work, generally speaking. Hey, Arctic, where the hell have you been? You've been AWOL. 30 to 40% of what you're checking. That's why I try to tell people, one of the things I talk about in my visits to refugees this past weekend is I kept pointing that out because a lot of people are finding jobs. And I said, and people are about to get jobs. I said, when you go get a job, if they tell you $1,000 a week and you're like, yeah, I got $1,000. No. You got to figure you're going to get about $650, $700 a month after all the deductions. What? Yes, some places also have city tax. That's correct. So in New York City, if you live in New York City, you pay federal income tax, you pay state income tax, and you pay city income tax, and they drain you dry. Yep, so that's what you got to figure. Okay, I hope that makes sense for everybody. Makes a lot of sense. I have some idea at least now. Yeah. So yeah, and that's just income tax. Then you buy things. There's sales tax. There's fees to register guns. There's fees to get a driver's license. Driver's license in Pennsylvania costs $100 to renew. Mine has to get renewed this year. I won't pay $100 because I refuse to be fleeced for that money, so I'll get one that's not a real ID, and I'll only pay $25 unless they raise it. Registering my car costs $100 per year here, and that's cheap. In Washington State, you pay a property tax. What does it cost to register a car in Washington State? You probably won't be able to tell me. Washington State. Okay. So, the registration fee is just $43. It starts here at $43.25. Plus, there's various service and license fee. However, it typically costs $300 to well over $700 because they vary heavily based on vehicle's weight, address, taxes. So, yeah, it could cost you up to $700 to register. So, let's try Arizona, which has... So, that's every car. A car registration in Arizona is $8 registration plus a vehicle tax, $13.50. But there's more than that. They used to be, maybe they got rid of the tax. There used to be a tax on there. New vehicles pay $2.80 per $100 of assessed value. Wow. So, if you have a $80,000 truck, wow. So 80,000 divided by, so that's 800. Okay, that's 800. So 2.8 times 800. So if you have an $80,000 car, you have to pay $2,240 in tax on that car every year in Arizona. Would never live in Arizona. Nope, never going to happen. So let's see what it costs in Florida, which has no income tax. Okay, in Florida, you pay between $325 to $450 for a new car. $225 initial registration fee, plus based on the vehicle weight, title cost. Yep. So, yeah. So, in Pennsylvania, we pay $100. They pay $450 there. Let's see what it costs in New York. $120 to $200 up front, and then you pay based on vehicle weight. So, once again, yep, it's ridiculous. Yeah, they see you coming and going. They take your money. Good night, Kriker. Yep. Yeah, so the money gets you coming left and right. The government gets their cut all the time. They always get something from you. It's a shame. It's disgraceful. But they always take your money. Firearm owners go on a 4 to 5 day course likely costs over $6,000. Exactly. Wisconsin. Sure, let's look at Wisconsin. It used to cost me $26 a year to register my car in Ohio. Wisconsin. But that was dependent on, it wasn't the state, it was the county, I think. So it's $85, but surcharge, you pay an extra $100 for electric vehicles, $75 for hybrid. There's local wheel taxes, $10 to $40 on top of that. Dane and Madison County adds $68. Title fees, if it's new car, you have to pay $214 for a new title. In-person fees, paying at a physical counter adds $3 service fee, while using unauthorized third-party agencies can cost you $16. It's just all scams, man, all to make money. Well, Reno is not Reno, it's Nevada. So in Nevada, it is $33 flat fee plus significant vehicle taxes, potential first-time processing fees. Okay, so 4 cents for every dollar of depreciated valuation. So you pay 4 cents for every value. So if the vehicle's worth $1,000, then you pay $40. If it's worth $10,000, you pay $400. Yeah, not good. So a 2022 Honda Accord priced at $38,000. The Department of Motor Vehicles valuation is 35% of that. So they're saying it's worth $13,300, even if it's not worth that. That's what they're saying. They have a 4% governmental services tax. That's $532. A 1% supplemental tax, $133. In order to register a 2022 Honda used Accord in Nevada, you have to pay $700. What a ripoff. These states rip us off. Millions of cars on the road, and they're gravy trains. You'll never stop it. Yep. Imagine what it costs to register a semi-truck. Excuse me. Hey, Blow Coat, what's going on? Yeah, it's just all scams to take money out of our pockets. So my property taxes have doubled in the short time of owning this home. Doubled. And never once did they go to the polls. In America, you normally can't raise property taxes in most states unless you go to the voters and ask them. And that hasn't been done here. It's crazy. Wow. It's just insane. It's insane. So there you go, folks. That's just ridiculous. I mean, that's what I say. That's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I want to check on something here really quickly. Okay, cool. All right, got my answer. Cool. So busy day. I've got to go pick up the judge stuff. I'm going to get crabs. I've got rugby coming up in an hour and 45 minutes. I got to drop off here shortly and set that stream up. Esther, what's going on? Wait till you drive an older car in California. You have to do it. It has smog check. Yeah. Well, Maryland has emissions tests every year for your vehicles. Pennsylvania doesn't have that. They just do it when you get, well, yeah, I guess they do an emissions test, but that's a separate emissions test in Maryland. Here they also do a vehicle roadworthiness, which is good. So they have gloves might play the Champions Cup. I wouldn't be surprised. Tennessee has no income tax, so it might be expensive. Let's see. Tennessee. Okay. So between $29 and $100 per year. Depends on the county. Okay. There's a 7% sales tax and a 2.25% single article tax to new vehicles. So you pay 10% essentially for a new vehicle. Wow, that's insane. There's a fee if you have an electric vehicle or a hybrid, $200 or $100. Bonnie says, what did you do with my 2 zeros? Bonnie, that's a funny super chat. He paid for those 2 zeros. So let me see, what county? Morgan County. Okay, so I used to pay $26 a year to register my car in Morgan County, which was where my mother's residence was. And so that was $26. Now it's between $43 and $73 a year. So mandatory state and vehicle fees are $35. State registration $16. Registration application $11. Why are you paying for the application? Deputy register fee $8.50. Local permissive taxes. They can charge $5 increments. Certificate of title is $18 if you got a new vehicle. Out-of-state inspection, $8 if you bring the car in. So that's actually reasonable. Ohio is reasonable. That's one reason why I used to keep my car registered there. So I used to have cars in Iowa too. So what does it cost in Iowa? $50 to several $100. That's new vehicles. So they do charge by weight too. 40 cents per 100 pounds. Plus 0.75% list price. It's based on age of the car. This is ridiculous. That's not what I used to pay. They've all become scam artists taking your money. What is a good APR on loans and credit cards? Well, loans and credit cards are very different. A credit card, there is no good APR. First off, never, ever, ever, ever pay interest on a credit card. Never pay interest on a credit card. It's a fool's errand. You never get ahead. So here's the thing that people don't realize. Okay, credit cards typically give you a 21-day grace period. In other words, let's go with the first month, okay? So on April 1st, I bought something. Okay, that credit card bill cycles at the end of the month on 30 April, okay? And then it'll be 21 days after, so around the 20th or 21st of May, okay? But I bought something on April 1st, and I don't have to pay for it until May 20th. That's like 7 weeks of free credit, no interest free. But if you pay it by then, you're good to go. But here's the thing. If you don't pay that, you pay the minimal payment or you pay partial payment, then you are liable for interest on all of that debt back to the date that you purchased things. So the thing I bought on April 1st, I have to pay the 21.97% interest on the credit card. And by the way, you buy new things and you pay them off in full. It doesn't matter. Until all of that is gone, you continue to pay interest on every purchase. So once you don't pay the full amount off, from then on, you're paying on everything you buy the full interest rate. So never do it. People don't understand that. They do not understand that. You can only reset that when you clear your balance off to zero and you have no debt on your credit card for an entire billing cycle. No, but you need credit cards, Rock Matrix. You can't rent cars without a credit card in this country. You can't around the world. You have to have a credit card to rent cars. Treat the credit card as a charge card. Now, the difference between a charge card and a credit card, so I'm just going to play around with these two things. So here you go, 2 Starbucks cards. A charge card is a card that you can use like a credit card. That's what American Express used to be. And you charge on this, and then at the end of the month, at the billing cycle, you have to pay it in full. There's no carrying debt over. So that's a charge card. A credit card allows you to borrow money with a credit, and then you don't have to pay the full amount back. You can pay a minimum amount, or you can pay whatever you want back. But that's bad. Charge card. So I treat all my credit cards like charge cards. I pay every credit card bill off in full every month. I never pay interest. So that's the thing about credit cards. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. If you don't understand that, you're going to be screwed. you're going to be absolutely screwed. It takes forever to pay off credit card debt. It's a bad cycle. Do not get into it, okay? So there you go. But you need credit cards. I have credit cards. There you go. Credit cards right here. Right here. It's credit cards. Right here, and this thing has got credit cards in it. So I have credit cards. And why? Because you can't rent a car. It's hard to get a hotel. What if you break down? What if an emergency happens? You don't carry that kind of cash around. You need a card. I mean, a card with a good credit limit on it. So credit cards are essential to good financial management, but you have to understand how to use them. That's number one. Don't worry. If you have a good credit card history, you'll have good credit history, and what will happen is that it's okay. Banks don't mind that because you're a regular source of income for them. You bring money into them. You keep their numbers up, help them show that they have this much billing. It's the other people who will pay the 21%. They'll make tons of money off that. So them not making tons of money off you, they still make money off you. Every transaction of a credit card, the merchant has to pay a fee. Now that fee runs between 1.6% and 4 or 5%, depending on the type of fee. So credit card gets processed, they charge you that. So like for instance, the credit card that we get at the Veterans Organization, they charge us almost 2% for every transaction. So every $100 that someone pays us, we lose $2 that goes to credit card companies. So they're making money off you either way. That's how they can give you rewards. They give you 1% back because they're still making 1% on the credit card transaction. So they make money one way or the other. So use your credit card as a charge card. Okay, number one. Loans, a good interest rate? Well, it depends. Interest rates fluctuate up and down. And it also depends on your credit record. If you have a good credit record, you'll get a lower credit. So for instance, I've told people famously that when I bought my Chrysler, the interest rates were 5.5% to 6.5% for most people. I got it at 1.75%. When I got my home loan, most people were paying 6 and 7% for a mortgage. I got mine at 3.75% because of my credit history. Yep. It's Friday. There will be a night house probably tonight, unless I'm fall asleep. So yeah, there'll be a night house tonight. I don't know what your grace period is in South Africa. In America, it's typically 21 days. Yep. Sounds daunting. Scared going there as a single parent and providing good life for my son. Why is it daunting? It's challenging. It's not easy, but I mean, moving from Bloemfontein to frickin' Joburg is challenging. Moving from Joburg to the Western Cape is challenging. So everything's daunting in life, but that doesn't mean you give up. I mean, I woke up this morning with more crap to do than I can even find time to do today. Yep. What's this? Anyone with a clean record and a bunch of money can get a license on a machine gun. There's no military qualification. No, who said you need military qualification? There's no such thing as military qualification. Yes, I know banks charge a credit card fee. I don't pay fees. I only have one card I pay a fee for annually. One card. That's it. And that was only because it had benefits that were really, really useful for me. Otherwise, I don't pay. My credit cards come with no annual fee. Here, let's do that. Let's go to Credit Karma. Let me see if I can do that without getting myself in trouble. Credit Karma here. Let me see. Credit Karma. Let me log in. Okay, it was there. Why are you doing that? Log in. Okay, come on, let me in. Okay, let's look for cards. Now, because I have a good credit history, they should give me some of the better deals. Oh, it's just a slow site. No, it's 21 days here. Come on, Jiminy Crickets. What the hell is with this site? Thank you. Okay, Wells Fargo autograph card. Okay. Annual fee $0. Rewards 1 to 3 points per dollar. Welcome bonus 20,000 points. Okay, so let's look for cards. Okay, I'm gonna look for cards. Okay. Okay, so all right. So these are cards I'm not going to want to have. So the Sapphire preferred card from Chase, it will get approved. $95 annual fee. No, thank you. You get travel rewards. Chase Sapphire Reserve, $795 annual fee. No, thank you. So City Diamond Preferred Card, annual fee $0. 16 to 27% variable interest rate. No, thanks. Wells Fargo Reflect Card, $0 annual fee. APR is 17, 23, or 28%. Yep. All right. United, Quest, $350 annual fee. No, thank you. So those are top picks. Anyway, so here we go with the no annual fee. Let's see what comes up now. So, okay, here we go. Apple Card, $250 welcome bonus. If I get an Apple Card, I get $250 and a 1 to 3% cash back. Discover, $200 welcome bonus, 1 to 5% cash back, and annual fee is nothing. The USA Preferred Cash Rewards Card, 1.5% cash back, a welcome bonus $250 and no annual fee. I have that card, but I didn't get a welcome bonus. I've had that card for 30 years. Yep. Capital One, 40,000 mile bonus, no annual fee. Hilton Honors American Express card, no annual fee. Why am I getting an annual fee then? I pay an annual fee for that. That's the one I paid for. 80,000 points. So there you go. But credit cards, you just got to be careful about them, folks. Credit cards, you got to be careful. Okay, so firearm with a lot of sentimental value. Importing firearms, I'm not going to answer that question. I'll direct you to the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Go to their website. You can import firearms, but it's not a simple process. You need to go to Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, okay? And then find out what you need to do there. I'm not going to give any advice on doing it because people will misstate what I said, and I'm not going to do it. There's a process, much like bringing pets into the country. There's a process. You just need to go and do it. By the way, I never took these stickers off these Starbucks cards. Guess I didn't realize I hadn't done that. Anyway, yeah, so, that just damaged that card. These things aren't plastic anymore. They're like paper. They used to be plastic, these Starbucks cards, so they're not very durable. I just collect them, though, so I have hundreds of these things from over the years. So that's all that matters to me is I collect the darn things. Stickers are, oh, Jesus, see, it's hard to come off. I just tore it. Let's go back the other way and see if I can't get it off. Come on, I got most of it, not all of it. Okay, so a little piece of it's still there. Yeah, the money you get is usually after you spend a minimum amount after a period normally. That's normally how it works. Sometimes you just get the bonus straight away, but most of the times you have to spend a minimum amount. But what you do then is if you get a new credit card like that, pay your utilities with a credit card. Pay your gas bill, pay your electric bill with a credit card. Pay all your petrol with a credit card. Make all your purchases on that card for the first few weeks or months till you hit that maximum, because you're going to spend the money anyway. I get paid. People use my money. I get paid for it. And that's how it should be. When banks have your money, you should get paid for them using your money. Yep. Yep. How about a song? Okay. What on earth would you want to do with a firearm USA? There was a guy at Visa interviews with me a few years ago and asked about firearms and was denied immediately. Well, he wasn't denied for asking about firearms. This is the land of firearms. We have hundreds of millions of firearms. Americans have a constitutional right to firearms. It's protected. So that person didn't get denied because of firearms. I don't know what you're talking about there. That's not why they got denied. Unless there's more to the story than you're telling us. Okay, so that's where we're at. People keep asking me the same questions. Stop asking me about administrative hold and send me a message about this. Why did the credit card break up with a wallet? Because the wallet said you've changed. You used to be outstanding, now you're just maxed out. That's funny. Dad jokes are coming in now. Well, I don't need to go to Firearm Training Center. I could train people use of firearms. It tells me that I have outstanding approval odds to get credit cards. 3 offers, then 17 personal loans and 1 car loan they're offering me. This is Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a good site. It's free, and it tracks things for you. It makes offers for you. I don't use it very often, but okay. 240. Okay, let's see what we got here. Firearms, highly collectible. Okay. All right, Johan, take care. Your rate is lower compared to members like you. So 20 offers, and this one's based on my credit score, approval odds, and other factors. So for a, is this a personal loan? Yeah, this is a personal loan. So the average person would get a personal loan. Personal loans are more expensive. Personal loans are unsecured. They're just, there's no credit, there's no collateral against them. You're borrowing money to either pay off debt or to do home improvement or something like that. Personal loans are a bad idea. Don't do personal loans. So a personal loan, I would get 6.88% interest, which is excessive for me. I think that's too much. The average person would get 10.52%. The average person would get almost double, well, not doubles, but 70% higher interest rate than I get on a personal loan. Yeah. So, but the problem with this is that, let's say a $26,000 loan, I would have to pay $777 a month to pay that back for 3 years for a personal loan. No, thank you. No, thank you. So here's someone's offering to for 6.88. Yeah, there's a bunch. Which one is that? So that's the Lending Club. Yeah. So so they make it easy to borrow money here. Look at this. Well, they're offering me 10% from Discover. Screw you, man. That's for 5 years. Yeah, no. So personal loans are expensive and not a good idea. So let's look at money. What is this? Meet Credit Karma Money Spend. Checking account with no fees. Fee-free banking. Advanced paycheck. 2 days early. Free overdraft. And FDIC insured. Yeah, no, I don't need that. Let's see what they've got for spend. So, yes, stores take cash. They're required to. Although some are violating the law, it's required. Cash is legal tender in America. I don't have any cash here. Or I'd show you I have no cash. But cash is legal tender. It must be accepted for transactions. But like the airport in Newark refuses to take cash. That's against the law, and no one's holding them to it. Yes, they take cash. Yep. Anyway, so what we got for savings here? Money. Got overview, spend, and save. Credit Karma Money Save. Earn 2.6% annual percentage rate, 6 times higher than national average. Automate your savings, 100% fee-free, and coverage up to $5 million through a network of participating banks. Anyway, so that's Credit Karma. Insurance, loans, cards, credit. Anyway, and taxes and income. That will be through TurboTax. Tells you congratulations on filing your taxes because I use TurboTax, which owns Credit Karma now. And Credit Karma and TurboTax are owned by Intuit, which is the company that started TurboTax software. Yep, they've become a massive company now. So they've got my file, they got my status. Yep, there you go. So Credit Karma. Like I said, I don't use it very often. Yeah, so here's my credit score. All right, I'm done with Credit Karma. Okay, cool beans. You weren't on the live where someone complained Colonel was showing a firearm. His channel got banned for a while despite all of us not seeing a gun. Yep. No, it wasn't a person, Karen. It was AI. AI did that. No one complained that I showed a gun. Artificial intelligence claimed that I showed a firearm. I didn't show a firearm. No, it wasn't a person. It was artificial intelligence. And I complained about it, and YouTube said I showed a firearm. And I said, where? They couldn't prove it. It's stupid because you can show firearms on YouTube. I don't get any spam from Intuit. Yep. Yeah, payday loans are a bad idea too. Where does one apply for a gold American Express? AmericanExpress.com. Go there. Or you can go to Credit Karma and see if it's offered to you. Maybe get a better deal. So, yep. Anyway. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. I got to get ready for the Stormers game coming up in the next hour. And then I got to run off and get the judge material and then collect my steamed crabs and catch my breath for the evening. Anyway, thank you all so much. I appreciate you being here. Be sure to hit the like button. If you missed the Rob Hersoff interview, please go back and watch it. It was epic earlier today. It's on the channel. Be sure to tell your friends. Get 3 people to sign up for the program. Be very helpful. And for those of you who are watching out for my well-being and watching out for the nasty people who slander and besmirch me with no basis whatsoever, thank you for your efforts too. I don't watch these scummy content creators who commit slander and defamation of character. I have no interest in them. But I know a lot of you get notifications or are told about this stuff. So thank you for sharing that. And the same thing for those of you who share information with me from closed WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups that also commit the same criminal offenses. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Keep me updated on it so I'm aware of it. Thank you all so much. We'll catch you later. Be sure to tune in for Night Owls tonight. And I'll let you know how the crabs were. They weren't very good last time. I hope they're good this time. And thank you for the super chats. Fonz, I haven't forgotten your super chat, $2. And also Whitebeard, your 3,500 Rand super chat. Thank you so much for that. And it didn't start a storm. I was hoping it would start a storm, but it didn't start a storm of people sending chats. But we did get a few of them in. So thank you, the rest of you, for your super chats. Bonnie, who else? We got one here. Grok Matrix, Vodka Model needs to catch up. I missed that one. Thank you for your super chats. Okay, guys. And Whitebeard, thank you so much for that big super chat. Very kind of you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. All right. I appreciate it. And we'll see you later on. Cheers.